Well, hello! It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, I'm going to talk about a few things at the end of the video here, but not much. Science Olympiad is on my mind. State is real soon, and pens are usually one of my breaks from the work world, but right now the work world is really impacting my private life. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some pens. Alright, so these are the pens I've been using this week, and second time I filmed the first three of them because I never pressed record when I did the first take of this. So, from left to right, we have Pilot Custom 823, Pilot Custom 823, Lamy 2000, Schaefer Balance, Platinum President, Pilot E95, Platinum 3776, and a Central Pen 100820. As I just did 2 minutes ago, I will be filming this writing sample in this Cognitive Surplus Theory notebook. My first pen in this batch is a Pilot Custom 823. Always been on the top of my list as favorite pens. This one happens to be the transparent. Some people have said, it would be better if, that bit of plastic, that inner cap there was clear. I actually prefer it black because, yes, it's cool to see the workings of the pen, till it gets all splooched with ink, and then you're just like, ew. So I like the fact that it hides the splashes of ink. So this is a Pilot Custom 823, and it has a signature nib, which is broader than a broad, a little more stubby, kind of fun. And I really like how this ink is working in this pen. This is Ackermann Grünmarkt Smaragd. I loaded it into this pen because I am hoping to use up the ink. It'll give me a lot of real estate. That's one of those goals I've been steadily working on. Not much progress lately, but except at school, I did use up a bottle of Lamy Coral ink at school. But still working on it. I'm feeling the need to draw a toy car, because I was talking to my mother tonight, well, my parents, but it was my mother that said this. I'd shown her some pictures of electronics project that I shared here, and she asked me where I found the toy cars, and I said, well, the local grocery store, and she says, oh, do kids still play with toys like that? So, I hope so. I mean, I hope kids aren't in this sad world where, oh, here's a cell phone, Johnny. Go play with the cell phone. Oh, yeah, you can play cars on this cell phone. I'm hoping kids aren't that sad that they're on screens like that, because that would just be depressing. My next pen is also Pilot Custom 823, but with a different nib. So on the theme of using up ink, I really love the bottle that these two pens came with, because they both came with a bottle of ink. Neither one of them's I'm not using from that bottle right now, although the bottle for one of them is up here. I'll show it to you in a minute. The ink in this one is actually in an Ackermann bottle, because I like the Ackermann bottles too. They are probably the coolest bottles out there. Now they have that dual section with a marble seal, Bleu, Myosotis. Maybe not the easiest to manufacture, but very cool. But my favorite bottle is actually the one that came with the Pilot Custom 823. It's a Pilot bottle. It has a very nice shape, holds a lot of ink, and it has a ink reservoir in it. I'd say that the Lamy bottles are right up there also. But this Pilot bottle, you've got a little bit of a base. It's round, of course, because it's an ink bottle. And you have the big bulb full of ink. He can't draw very well. And then you have a cap on it. And then inside, a bit of an ink reservoir. So what does that look like? Well, kind of like this. So yeah, it's their 70 milliliter bottles. I just really like them a lot. Ackerman bottles are a little more complicated. Well, there's a marble in here that acts as a seal. Right now it's not sealing because of how I have this leaned, but it acts as a seal to keep the ink in the upper chamber. And maybe to agitate it a little, I don't know. And since we're talking ink bottles, this is what a Lamy ink bottle looks like. It comes with there's a little divot here for the ink, and it comes with some blotting paper. My next pen is a Lamy fountain pen. This is my beloved Lamy 2000. This one has a fine nib. The ink in it is Parker Quink, which is very underrated. And you know, a couple years ago I did a video on black inks, and this didn't even make the finalist. So I'm not sure what changed in my brain, but I've gotten so I like it. Right now you can only really get 3 colors. There's black, there's washable blue, and then there's blue black, and then I've been able to order online the regular blue. Why would I get regular blue? Don't know. But this week, if I've got my weeks right, I did release a video where I did a that is an awful, awful, awful lasso. But anyway, I did a video this week where I did a rodeo about the Lamy pens, and the Lamy 2000, they're different finishes. My next pen, an oldie, I've had out my Sheaffer Balance. Right? Yeah, Sheaffer Balance. Sheaffer Balance oversized. Anyway, nice little pen. A little upturned nib there. And I don't remember what ink's in this. Sheaffer. Oh, now I remember. So one of the complaints people have about vintage pens is, you have to have some care what ink you put in them. So this is Califolio. Olivastra. And Califolio inks, although the color selection is a little limited, Califolio inks have the fun property of being safe in vintage pens. So I have way more than I need, just like ink in general, but I enjoy them. Califolio inks come in a bottle that's, let's do a top-down look at it. Kind of wedge-shaped. Here's the cap. And then you can seat more bottles, and they make a nice circle on your table if you have a table where you can display ink. Let's see if I've got one out here. Yes, I do. Diamine actually used this type of bottle for, I think it was a special edition of some kind, but anyway, you can see them in a nice circle. I, at the moment, don't have anywhere to display that, but I have visions of someday having somewhere to display something like that. Alright, then we have the discontinued Platinum President. A pen I really appreciate. Mine is ground to a cursive italic, and it's a broad nib. If you buy a Platinum Izumo, it has the same nib, it just costs a lot more. So this is a Platinum President. You'd probably like to see the writing sample. There we go. This has a broad cursive italic nib. And the ink in it is de Atramentis. Violets. This company is owned by a chemist. So I don't know if developing inks was his hobby or what. I need to research and learn the story behind this brand, because I do own a lot of de Atramentis ink. I like it. Sometimes it spreads a little much on the paper, but overall it behaves itself. And he has some inks with interesting properties, a lot like Noodler's. But I haven't heard concerns about any of the colors, for whatever that's worth. So since it is a cursive italic nib, it's designed so it's fairly sharp and stubby, but still has tipping material. I like cursive italic nibs. Not for everything, but I do like them. My next pen, which will go with me to Fargo, which I'll talk about later, is a Pilot E95. Actually, this one's getting close to empty, so I may take a different pen, but I've got several of these Japanese pocket pens. So this is a Pilot E95. This has a medium nib in it, and the ink in it is Lamy Blue Black. Perfectly serviceable blue black. It's just not my favorite. I think Parker's my favorite, but I really like Pilot's blue black also. This one is maybe more true to the color, just not my favorite. Oh, so what do you draw for blue black? How about I don't know, an orange, which is starting to mold. Sorry. Too late at night. I should be in bed right now. In fact, I will be as soon as I finish filming this. And we get my Platinum 3776 with a very cool finish. If you write a couple of letters and use this pen for a page in each of them, you run this pen dry, because this coarse nib, which is a Platinum's way of saying double broad, goes through the ink super fast. The ink that it's going through super fast is not a Platinum ink, it's a Sailor ink. It is Sailor Jentle Sky High. Very nice color. Discontinued, but you may get lucky. Sailor has in the past and probably will at some point in the future re-release this ink and others like in its series as a special edition. My favorite in this series is actually the Epinard, followed closely by Grenade. This one's okay, but it's meh. So we've done everything for pictures, so we'll just go Artemis, in honor of the spacecraft that just recently flew around the moon. Something cool going on in the world right now instead of all the awful stuff going on. And to close it off, we'll remember an awful era in the world history where part of the world was behind what they called the Iron Curtain, and this pen was made behind that Iron Curtain. This is a Central pen 100820. Absolutely stunning finish. Kind of a fun ISCO nib. It does run dry on a page. I can't quite get a full page out of it. And I have to be careful how I write with it. Also, I apparently didn't clean this pen out super well last time I used it, because this should be bright orange, and it's not. But that's how it goes. Because this is Sailor Jentle Apricot. But this is a pretty moldy apricot. Not literally, I hope, because I don't want to deal with mold in my pens. Maybe it's from that orange up above. Maybe that moldy orange was actually a moldy apricot. But anyway, other than it's a very murky color, which is a little sad, I realized it's been a long time since I've written with this pen and how much I've missed writing with it. Because this pen, I've shown you other pens have given me the taste for vintage. This gave me a taste for this special exotic vintage. So let's draw in honor of this pen. Let's give it some reinforcement here. Let's give it some barbed wire. We're far enough away you can't see the spikes. And let's write, tear down this wall. And those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. When I go to Fargo for State Science Olympiad, I will probably take one or two of them. Probably two, just so I have a backup. But, if I have time for writing, it won't be much. It'll just be a few notes, so I don't need much for pens. So I'm not going to take very many. I won't be feeling very creative there, let's just be honest. It's you go to Fargo, the day before we usually do something educational on the way to Fargo, because it's a 6-flippin' hour trip to get to Fargo. So we do something educational on the way, usually because we have a bunch of new kids. We tour the campus, they see where all the events are, and then we go to we have to have supper somewhere. And then back in the motel, we'll do a little bit of practice, give them a chance to relax. And bedtime, which, if you're the coach/chaperone of a bunch of teenagers, means you don't really get a good bedtime because you have to stay up and in the hall and monitor them and make sure nothing happens. So, ick. And then you're exhausted all day Saturday, and you're running around Saturday, and by the way, it's a 6-hour trip home. So, not a lot of rest time. So, after it's all over, I will feel so much more well-rested. It's almost like school ending. Well, not quite, but it feels like it. Because, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. No more practices at night. No more Saturdays being given up. Yeah. It's an opportunity. It's one of those things you do as a teacher. But it's sure nice when it's over. I imagine even like a basketball coach or a football coach feels the same way. They're not like, no, state basketball's over. I'm pretty sure they have the I'm free feeling as well. But anyway, that's coming up real soon. That's part of why Pens in Use is going to be short tonight. In other excitement, I was going to put some videos up about books I've been reading, and I'm just not feeling it. Again, Science Olympiad, so I'll be feeling it more afterwards. Then I'll have time to sit down and write some notes. Same with Pen Pals and some of the more involved pen videos I've wanted to do. I want to say this week I released my Lamy rodeo, my Lamy 2000 rodeo, maybe? Can't remember. It's been too long. Been a wild week. But anyway, that was one I kind of felt I could throw together without too much effort. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah, so I'll just have more time to decompress and think about things. Other exciting news. I am further along with the set downstairs. It's not ready for the big reveal yet, but it's getting there. I have the other big shelf that's supposed to go in it, partly assembled. The hardest part of the assembly is done. I just have the easy part. Maybe this weekend I'll get it done. We'll see. But it's getting there. It's slow going. I actually got a line on a typewriter table for the set that would double as a writing desk. It's a specialized table just for typewriters, and they're not made now, of course, but it's a little cart. It's on wheels, but the wheels I guess they spring up into the body. I'm not sure how it works. And it's got leaves on either side that fold out. I can get it for $25, assuming when I finally get a free Saturday that it is still for sale, because it's not for sale in my small town, of course. It's for sale in a nearby city. But I'm hoping it is, because I'd be really excited to buy it. So, anyway, hopefully I can make that part of my office. If not, I may look for, this typewriter back here is just sitting on a wooden TV tray, so nothing wrong with that either. But I just thought it'd be nice to have something like that down there. Wiring and so on has been a bit of a problem. I've had to use some creativity with extension cords. I have one outlet in the room. But hey, I have 2.5 outlets in the whole basement, plus a 220 outlet for a dryer, so there is that. So we'll just have to see what happens with that set. But anyway, making progress, and I will do a full video on that. Spring is coming. We had some 80-degree weather this week, which is warm. Some very cold weather also. So it's spring in North Dakota. I'm going to, after Science Olympiad is over, I'm going to start on my garden. So that'll be kind of a nice evening or morning, evening relaxy thing. Do some digging. It'll be my exercise, I think. If I'm going to spend half an hour to an hour digging after school, I feel like I don't need to go for a walk in the morning. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it's going to roll for me. And, I'm looking forward to it. I can see the grass invading some places, so I'm going to have to dig that up. I've actually thought about buying an edger, not because I want clean edges around my sidewalk or the curb. It's because I want clean edges around my garden and stuff, and beds, so I don't have grass invading all the time. Too late, it already did. But maybe I can prevent it in the future. So, looking at that. Electric edger, same brand as my lawnmower, which is also electric, pen purchases, nothing exciting planned. I want this summer, once that set is built, to do some pen repair videos, even if they're repeats of certain topics, just to introduce the new pen. I'd like to do some typewriter repair videos. Some people have told me they don't care about the typewriter videos, to which I say, okay, then don't watch them. Just like any video on this channel, it's a little bit of everything, so watch what you like, don't watch the rest. It's the Wasky Squirrel pen channel, but it's not a pen channel. So, and let's see, I'll try to do a live stream, probably not the weekend I get back from Science Olympiad, because I will be useless that day, but maybe the week after. We'll see. Anything else exciting planned? Nope, other than that trip to Dickinson to pick up that typewriter table if it's still for sale. Oh, and it comes with a typewriter too, but the typewriter apparently needs some work. But $25, hey, and Dickinson's a place I go occasionally, so I guess I'll go for a $25 typewriter table. If you look at them on eBay, once you include the shipping in their cost, you'll see why $25 is appealing to me. That's about all I got going on. Like I said, next week, hopefully I'll film a Better Pens in Use. So, anyway, I want to thank you for watching. And if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old, and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, does your job go in seasons like mine, where sometimes you just overwhelmed and other times you're just not? Let us know down in the comments. So thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.